Welcome, guys, to another episode of World War Marvel. As you know, I'm your channel host, Adam, and today I have with me...
Mike?
A couple episodes back...
Long lost Mike?
Yeah, it's been a couple of months, buddy. So, I think a couple of episodes back, you and I did a proxy game to try out the rules and go from there. And you enjoyed it, correct?
Oh, it was great.
Plus, being Marvel is fantastic.
Even with, like, the proxy, it was good. It was a blast.
It's even better now that there's models!
I know, right?
So, we're finally back together, playing some more games. And what we're going to do today is we are going to do the training wheel protocol sessions. So that is harkened back to Spider-Man Homecoming and like Tony Stark putting in all the
spoiler
different and putting in all the training sessions into the Spider-Man suit. So I have Iron Man painted up and I have Spider-Man painted up, so those are going to be our training guys. And what we're going to do today is not play a full game, but we're going to use two models and just go over the basics. So we're not going to be using tactics cards, we're not going to be using crisis cards, but we're just going to discuss about how to play a game, so like the phases, what you can do, show some stuff off, like how a throw works, how a push works, stuff along those lines. Sort of show you what the card layout is and everything else, and then as we go along throughout our World War Marvel segments here, or videos, we'll progress further and further into a larger game. So I have Ian, a friend of both of ours actually, painting up like Red Skull, Crossbones, Baron Zemo, Doc Ock, and Ultron, as I'm working on the Avengers basically. And so he so far has the 5 of them. Yeah,
he's got all 5 based.
Fully base colored. Now he's working on shades and detailing and stuff like that.
Yeah, they look good already.
Oh my goodness.
They're not even like done.
Well, he's a trained artist. You know what I mean? Like that is what he went to school for and everything. And not necessarily painting, but like once you're an artist of one and and you enjoy other artistic sort of outlets like him, you know what I mean? Like he just has became like a jack of all trades. You throw something artistic in front of him, he'll figure it out one way or another.
Yeah, he's that stuff.
Where I'm like painstakingly, I'm like, oh my goodness. I made a joke because when I was painting Spider-Man earlier today, I messed up one of the web lines, and it was like, you know how like you mess it up and it's just like one of those like your moment, the Hulk out moment that you were just talking about.
That was really funny, actually. I wasn't painting, but it was still a Hulk out moment.
So that was how I was with Spider-Man. I was just like, oh my god, because it's just such a fine line, and it's like, and I messed it up with some reds and stuff like that. But with that said, let's get right into this training wheel protocol session, level 1. So here we are cracking into our training wheel protocol session number 1. So introducing the two characters, we have Iron Man, obviously, who made Spider-Man's suit in the movies, but it just is regular Spider-Man here. So Peter Parker. So the first thing first, let's look at the anatomy of a stat card. So we have Spider-Man's stat card here, and then we'll go over what is all on the stat card itself. So we'll start off, obviously, you have their alias and their names up here. You then have their stamina. Yeah, so I believe that's still called stamina here. And then you have their speed and their size. And then you also have their threat level, which is like their point cost for when you make your team and such, and your force. Then you have your physical defense, your energy defense, and your mystic defense. You then have your attacks. These are your, not called your superpowers, but just your basic character attacks, because the superpowers are down below here. So that's broken down into what type of attack it is. So I'll show you here. Basically, it will represent one of the 3 defenses. So that one would be a physical, that one's a physical, and then Spider-Man's third one, Taser Web, is an energy attack. Shows you the range of the attack using a range ruler. Shows you how many dice, so that section there determines like the weight symbol, tells you what how many dice you roll when you go to actually strike somebody with it. So that's the strength of the attack, and then you have the power cost of the attack over there. There's special rules in there, so like you have the wild symbol on this die, or the sort of swirly symbol. So if he rolls one of those in the dice during his attack, you get that effect with it, so it's an extra little ability. So he has superpowers. So the one is constant. So that's a constant one. it's always active. What is it called? You got active, reactive, and then innate superpowers. So that's his innate superpowers, and these here are active superpowers. So his web line, and it also shows you again the power cost as well as what it does there. And then he has another innate down here at the bottom, which is wall crawler, which is detailed in the book for the effects. It's just a standard one, so it allows him to be treated as size 5 for purposes of movement and such. So he doesn't need to make a climb action nearly as often to get around. He can just use his wall crawler. So that is the anatomy of the card. So Mike, you want Spider-Man?
Sure.
All right.
Whoever. Doesn't matter to me.
All right. So during a game, you can set up, for the setup, I should say, there's a few steps that you have to do. One of the first things is you have to roll for priority. How you do that is you take 5 dice each, and then I have dice in my pocket. That's where the other 5 dice go, Mike.
Conveniently, I actually have 5 dice in my hand.
So you roll those 5 dice, and you're going to consult what you have here. So these are my 5.
Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 hits.
Pretty sure you won that.
Yeah. Well, it's a tie. So far, we have 3 successes.
Oh, this doesn't override it?
No. Well, at first, we'll break this down. So right now, what you're looking at is, because we both have 3 successes in this.
Yep.
So just double check that story quickly, because we are tied. So basically what happens is you're rolling 5 dice apiece for priority. You get rid of all your blanks, your failures, and your blocks, and you compare. You're looking for hits, crits, and wilds. So I have 2 hits and a crit, as Mike has 2 hits and a wild. So what happens after that, if it's a tie and you both have the same number of successes, you're then going down the line and you're comparing whoever has the most criticals, and then if you're tied from there, you go whoever has the most wilds and then hits. So in this case, I have 1 critical, Mike has none, and so I would have priority in this game. So we're not going through the whole breakdown of what scenarios are. We're just learning the basics of the game at this point in time. And in some sense, we probably will make mistakes at some point in time. But we are trying our best, and we are reviewing everything as we go about. So I'm going to have first round priority at this point in time. We basically set up the board like so. So let's talk about the phases of the round. So there's 3 different phases in a round. There's the power phase, the activation phase, and the cleanup phase. In the power phase, each character automatically gains 1 power.
Yep.
Okay. After that, so there's on the back of the Learn to Play, there's like this nice little handy guide here. So it's super great for referencing this. So after each player gains power in the power phase, you resolve any player effects that happen during the power phase, starting with a player that has priority. So I have priority at this point in time. And then you resolve any effects of crisis cards that happens during the power phase. Player with priority chooses the order. We don't have any crisis cards at this point in time, so we're just playing the round and doing all the movement and playing with the stuff on the card itself. Next up, you go for your activation phase. So basically it goes player to player. We both get to activate 1 model, and then that model can take 2 actions. So I'm just trying to see. So like some of these with actions, that's usually meaning your attacks up here, but there's some of these superpowers. Baron Zemo has one where it says action and then it gives you a detail, so that costs an action to use. But most things, if it doesn't say action, will just be like a free action above and beyond your 2 actions that you can do. So there's 2 actions, or 4 actions, 2 actions, oh my goodness. 4 actions or things that characters can do for the most part during a round. They're the move, attack, superpower, and shake. So move is allowing you to move the distance that it says on the card here. So Iron Man moves medium, so you take the movement template and you go. You attack using one of the abilities, and then you have your superpower if it says action in front of it, and then shake, which allows you to remove 1 special condition from the character. And so those are the actions you do. Once you're done, you basically take the token, put it on there, and on your character card. And at least that's what I'll be doing, is putting on the character card, because I'd rather not have them on the board. And it will be the player, next player will get their turn to activate in 2 models. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to go back and forth and activate models and just try out the rule set, try some throwing, try some pushes, and things along those lines, because, well, it makes sense.
Yep.
So we want to learn the game, and we want you guys to, if you guys do want, chime in with any rules questions, or if we make mistakes, shout out in the bottom as well. So activation phase, resolve any effects that happen at the start of the activation phase, starting with a player with priority. After any player effects, resolve crisis card effects. Players then alternate until there are no more characters left to activate. During a turn, a player can either activate a character or pass. So basically how a pass works is if I have more models than you that have not went, you can pass to force me to do it again. Yeah. It's a little foggy at that point in time.
Yeah, but I do know you can do that.
Yeah, and then a player who activates a character may make actions, use superpowers, and interact with objects with that character. So like some of the crisis cards will have like tokens deployed all over the place, or not all over the place, but on the board, and you can some of those will take actions to interact with or cost power to do things. After that, you have your cleanup phase, which is when you score your victory points. Not applicable in this. We're just going to be throwing things at people. Resolve player effects that occur during the cleanup phase. Resolve effects from crisis cards. The player with priority chooses the order, and then characters with dazed tokens remove all the damage tokens from the card, and then special conditions end their dazed token, and then they flip their stack card over to the injured side instead of healthy. That's right, I did forget to mention, though in the review I did show it, there are two sides to these cards. So you have your healthy and your injured there. So during the cleanup phase, if the player who activated the last character during the activation phase has priority token, it then passes to the next person. Then you move the round counter to the next round on the mission tracker and begin a new round. So that's basically what it is. All right, so starting off, Tony Stark, Iron Man gets first activation, and so he's just going to walk towards Spider-Man. So what that's called is advanced. So you look at his card here. He has movement of medium, so you grab the medium movement gauge here, and what you do is you put one end towards... or at the front of the model, and you can pivot this. So if I want to go up that way, I could go like that and then move him. So he's going to move up here, and then you just put him to the other end like so. And then you don't have to go the full length of the movement. If you wanted to end somewhere in between, you could. Mike's already like measuring stuff. He's like,
see how close you are. So you can't quite attack me yet.
No,
I thought you'd be able to maybe, but
no, I could have, but I didn't.
I just want to see.
So basically, we all gain one power at the beginning of the power phase. So it's not like I can do anything. So then he's just going to take a second advance, and he's just going to come up this way.
Do you even have range 5? Oh yeah, you do.
I do have range 5.
The homing rockets are 5.
Yep.
I only have 4. So.
Though the homing rockets, they
cost,
actually,
don't they?
They cost 2 power. So he's just going to move up here towards Spider-Man and be like, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Cool.
How's the new suit treating you?" So that is basically it. So he currently has 1 power sitting on his card. So going into Spider-Man's activation, and Mike just had a spider on his shoulder, which is really funny. Kind of jumped a little bit. Like I was like, "What the heck are you doing?" But Spider-Man's activation. What would you like to do with him?
So we're gonna move.
Okay,
we're actually gonna go to the roof.
So you're gonna climb. So Spider-Man has wall crawler. So basically, what happens is he counts as size 5 when he's moving.
Yep.
So most people, what they'd have to do is when they're doing their climb, they'd only get to move the small distance or the short distance, and that's how high. There's no like vertical measurement. It's just you do the template and you move that distance, and then you would just eyeball it up there.
Yep.
Where you're size 5, so these buildings are going to be considered like size 5, and so you would just be able to move, and so he's just going to get right up onto that roof like so. Basically, the way that I sort of understand this, there is no like height measurement, because there's always doing the superhero landing, you know what I mean? Like they're all like jumping down and landing, like Deadpool. Oh, she's gonna do it, and then, So Spider-Man's up there for his first action. What are you going to do with your second action, though, is the question. We'll see. Mike, what's next for Spider-Man?
All right, well, we're going to go with an impact webbing.
Okay, impact webbing. All right, so there is a whole entire process to this, and here I am trying to not move the camera all that much. There is an entire attack sequence that has to be followed when it comes to attacks. So you choose an attack, which you did.
Yep.
You declare a target, which you did. Iron Man, the only other one. You pay the power of the cost. So impact webbing, does it have a power or a cost?
It does not.
Okay, so you create your attack dice pool. So that's the strength of the... yeah, so it's 4 dice.
Yep.
So what we're looking at, you might as well just show it.
Right
so it's
here.
4 there.
Yep.
So after you create your attack, you create your defense. So it's a physical attack, again, because it shows you right there.
You've got 4, I think, don't you?
So I have 4 physical defense, so I create my defense pool. And then we go roll attack dice.
Yep.
So Mike
that's a good roll.
Yeah, Mike has 2 crits, 1 success, 1 blank. And then you roll the defense dice. So again, Iron Man has 4. So he has 2 failures, which cannot be re-rolled.
The wilds are not bad.
A wild, 2 wild as well.
Yeah, the wilds aren't too bad.
Yeah. And then you resolve criticals. So you're going to re-roll those. Yeah. You got 2. So roll 2 additionals. So one's a block. And one's a failure. So the blocks is what I was looking for to go with the wilds and the criticals.
Yeah.
So you have 3 successes at this point. I have no criticals to modify. So then we go modifying your own dice. So you don't have any means.
No, I don't have a wild, so I can't do the push.
So Mike has nothing that can modify his dice pool. I don't have anything that can modify my dice pool, and then calculate success or failure. So you have 3 successes there.
Yeah,
I have
2.
So I take 1 damage. So can you
damage.
pass me a damage token, please, Mike?
And 1 power for doing mine.
Yeah, and I get
Right.
and I get a power for taking damage as well.
Yes, and you do.
So the cool thing is, I do have a innate superpower, Invincible Iron Man. When this character suffers damage, reduce the amount suffered by 1 to a minimum 1. So I would still take damage, but it just
I would have
allows
had
me
to roll like 3 or 4 to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. So I'm now sitting at 2 power on Iron Man with 1 damage. You then resolve any effects that happen before damage, which there is none. So that would have, if that was the case, he would have been able to do the push if he had a wild.
Yeah, I could.
And then you would apply damage such as what we've already done, and then the attack resolve, and then you have any after the effects, which don't happen. So, all right. So that's your 2 actions. So we're gonna go back into round number 2. So we all gain a power again for round 2. So we're going to have to go into, don't have to, but we are going into Iron Man's second activation, first of this round, obviously, but we're 2 rounds in. We are going to move. So he has flight as an innate superpower, which allows him to count a size 5 when he moves. Basically like Spider-Man's wall crawler. So basically, he's just going to move right up onto this building, right beside Spider-Man. Like so. And then after that, I get to use a power.
Yep.
And I'm going to use a Friday AI. So it's an active power that you can only use during your round. So during the next attack action made by this character, this turn, add 2 dice to its attacks rolls. So I'm going to use Repulsor Blast.
Yep.
It's normally range 4, strength 4, 0 cost. So I need to get 6 dice because I have 4 plus 2 from my ability down there. So basically what it does is after this attack is resolved, the character gains power equal to the damage dealt. Yep. And if I hit a wild, before the damage is dealt, this character pushes the target character away small. So I chose my attack. I declared my target as Spider-Man. I then pay the power cost, which there is none. I then create my attack dice pool, because that is my...
Yeah, you're getting your 2 extra.
Yeah, exactly. It is an energy attack.
So 3.
So you have 3, so you create your defense dice pool. I'm then going to roll my attack dice, which are 6 at this point in time, for the Repulsor Blast. Obviously, I am in range. It is range 4. I forgot to mention that. Sorry, didn't check, but I should have.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to worry about
That's right. Wow. So, I have, out of this so far, 2 successes, and that was a blank. So 2 successes and a block. So then Mike rolls his defense dice. So he has 3 for energy. You have
to reroll 2 for spider sense as well.
Yeah, so we'll get to that point here in a second. We're just going to go through the steps in that.
All good. No.
Resolve criticals. Do you have any crits? Nope. Then modify your own dice. I can't modify my dice. Do you have dice that you can modify?
I can do the spider sense.
Okay, so with spider sense is an innate ability. It's the only one that can actually be activated at this point in time, I think.
Yes.
So when this character is defending against physical or energy attacks or making a dodge roll, it may reroll 2 dice, 2 of its defense dice or dodge dice. Now, if they were the skulls, you wouldn't be able to reroll those.
Failure you cannot.
Yeah, so you can't reroll the failures. All right, so 2 blanks. All right, so I'm doing 1 damage to you. Correct?
Did you? Yeah.
Yes, because I had 2 successes.
You had 3 successes.
Yeah. So basically, we modified. We can't modify each other's attacks, and then or each other's stuff. And then we calculate success or failure. I had no wild, so I didn't push, which is what I was hoping for. And then resolve effects before damage, which again isn't happening. Then apply damage. So Mike takes 1 damage. I am now sitting at a total of 3 power. I had 2 beforehand, and now I'm up to.
I get 1.
And you get 1 from taking damage. So that is Iron Man's go. So Mike, what are you going to do with Spider-Man? We'll find out in a second. Mike, Spider-Man's activation, what are you going to do with him?
We're going to do Webapult.
Webapult.
So it's 3 power, so we've taken 3 power.
So you already took 3 power off.
So it's an interactive train feature or an enemy character, in this case Iron Man. He is size 2 or less.
That's right.
And he's within 3 because they're standing side by side.
Absolutely.
And it says throw it small, so it can be used only once per turn.
All right, so let's see what happens. So Mike originally was going to throw before he does any of his actions Iron Man, but it's a better option to throw the truck, we thought.
So 3?
It is in range 3 because there's no vertical range. So it is in range. So what happens is you basically pick up the truck with the web, and then what you do is you throw it small, I believe. Yeah, throw it small. So you take the small, and you basically line it up 100% straight, and you line it up in any direction. And so you're going to line it up directly at Iron Man, and then a collision happens with either the first terrain piece or model that it comes in contact with that terrain. Because just imagine like the truck going along.
Your truck, man.
Yeah, my truck's all smashed to pieces. So what happens with if it's a terrain feature that is thrown, is destroyed and removed from the table afterwards. But if it collides with a terrain piece, and say this terrain piece was smaller than the truck, it would also be destroyed at the end of it.
Makes sense.
But if it's bigger, then it's not.
Building, kind of doesn't really.
No, but because you're colliding with a model, what happens is he needs to make a dodge roll. So you already have hit me. It's size 2 is what we're saying. The truck is size 2 because the cars in the box are size 2. So size 2 truck, it is size +1 for damage, basically, is what happens.
Yeah, should be 3. Then.
And so I need to make a dodge roll to prevent this damage. So I take my physical defense of 4, because it is a physical defense. So determine the incoming damage by adding 1 to the size of the thrown terrain feature. We did. Roll dice equal to the character's physical defense. Let's see what happens. Well, that's 3 crits and a block. Roll an additional die for each crit, so I don't think I need to, but let's just roll that. So that's a failure. I'll just roll it 3 times. That's a failure. And that's another block.
Don't roll that one anymore?
Yeah, that's right. It's the failure one. Modify the dodge dice for special rules and effects, and that doesn't happen. Then reduce the incoming damage from the collision by 1 for each crit, wild, or block. So I have 5 successes. I ignore all of those things.
Dodged it successfully.
And then you remove the truck afterwards, basically breaking it down quickly. So if the terrain feature collides with another terrain feature, like I said, equal size or smaller, that terrain feature is destroyed. That didn't happen. If thrown terrain feature collides with a character, the character must make the dodge roll, as you just saw. So that is that. We did not throw Iron Man, but maybe you'll be doing that shortly. But you still have 2 actions. We can figure out what you want to do next. Like, what are you going to do next for Spider-Man? His actual actions, because that was just a superpower.
So we're going to do a strike.
Okay.
It's 5 dice. It's range 2. You are clearly in range 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely in range 2.
After the attack's resolved, my character gains power equal to the... I don't actually... it's damage, I'm guessing, is the 3 slashes.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Damage dealt, basically.
So you chose your target, you declared your target, you paid your power cost, which is 0. You created your attack dice pool. I created my defense dice pool. You roll your attack dice. Let's see what happens.
Oh.
So 1 success, 1 crit. So we'll see what happens here on mine. So that
3 wilds.
That's 3 wilds and a hit. I don't want to hit. I want to block though. So then we resolve criticals. There are none. We modify our dice.
Do I reroll that crit?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. So,
Oh yes, you do have a crit.
I didn't realize. My bad.
Yep. Okay, so it's still 2. Yeah. So you resolve defense dice. Modify your own dice and imposing. That doesn't happen because I have no defense modification possibilities at this point in time. Yep. And calculate success or failure. So I have 3 successes because I have 3 wilds. I don't have any blocks or crits. Nope. You have a crit and a hit. So I take no damage from that either.
Yep.
Wow, those dice. Mike, what are you going to do for your second action? You going to do anything else?
We're just going to try and strike again to create some power. See if I can get something to go through so you can get some power for next turn. So.
That'll be good. So we're going to go through the same You got nothing, dude. Nothing. I got a crit and a block. No. I would modify my thing eventually, but nothing. So yeah, I got 2 successes, got none. So that is that. So we get another power at the beginning of the next round. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So Iron Man's first go, he's going to use his superpower Friday AI, which allows me 2 additional dice for my first or next attack with him, and then he's going to be using Repulsor Blast, which will bump my strength up to 6 basically. And we know Spider-Man's within 4. He will be my target. We don't need to pay the power. And Mike, can I use one of your dice, please?
Well, you can definitely use one.
It is a energy attack here, Mike. So you'll have 3 dice when you create your defense dice, and I'll roll my attack dice, and we'll see what happens. Bam! Well, that's fantastic. So
might need to trade your dice back in.
So I got 2 blanks, 2 failures, and then a hit and a wild. So Mike would roll his defense dice at this point in time. So he has 3 because his energy defense is 3. Let's see what happens to you. Roll away, sir. Roll away. So you get nothing, but you get to re-roll. So we rolled, resolve any criticals. Nope, modify your own dice. So you can modify your dice now at this point in time. You got nothing. You still got nothing.
No, I know.
You still got nothing.
And 2 more damage, though, right?
Yeah. So we can't modify. I can't modify Mike. So you calculate success or failure. So I have 2 successes. I got a hit and a wild. So he will be taking 2 damage here in a second. And then we resolve any effects before damage. So I rolled a wild, so I have this ability here with a wild called Push. Before damage is dealt, this character pushes the target small away, or short, I should say. So I'm pushing Spider-Man a small distance away from Iron Man. So how that happens is basically you line up a 90-degree movement gauge in base contact when it's away. If it was 4, you would put it on the other, or towards you, you'd put it on the other side. And then what happens is because it's short, I get to put this measuring gauge basically anywhere within that sort of shape, so right? So it's not like I could. Yeah, I could. I just would push you down like so. So basically, he's going to end right down here on the ground. Now, because it's a push, though, pushes don't actually cause damage like throw. They just push you, and you just stop if you came into contact with another model or with terrain and stuff like that. That's right. That's right. It's not like a throw where I'm throwing you into something. So, so that is his first activation, or first action, I should say. Next action for Iron Man is I'm just gonna do my move action with my flight, so I'm considered size 5, and I'm just going to come down as well and face Spider-Man, like so. Mike, going over to Spider-Man. What are you going to do with him? You're currently sitting at 3 damage.
Oh, did you just move and that was it?
Oh, I just moved. That's my second action, just because. Attack. No.
So I had 4 from you damaging me. That means I have 5 now?
Well, no, because that happens at the beginning in the power
Oh, wait,
phase.
no, that's right. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, this is actually the activation.
So I just have 4 then. Okay.
Yeah, so we're in the activation phase right now. So now it's like you determining what actions you want to take and such. So, all right, Mike, what's your first action?
So we're gonna do Taser Web.
So you pay the cost.
So paid 2.
Yeah, so you choose target. Obviously, is
target's
me.
You. You are within 3. I mean, if we need.
Oh, absolutely.
You can show
it's 6 inches.
It's not like a ton of range, but it's still enough.
It's 6 inches basically.
Yeah. So it's 6 dice.
Okay. There's energy.
It deals 1 damage.
If this attack deals 1 or more damage, after it is resolved, the target character gains a stun special condition.
Stun special condition.
Cool.
I'm gonna grab 2 more dice.
Yeah, man. Do it up.
Sure. One
so
more die?
yeah, I have energy defense 3. So you create your attack dice pool, which you've done now. So it's how much? What's the strength? 6.
6, right?
Yeah, and I create my defense, which is 3. You roll your attack dice, which is
There we go.
wowzers.
That's a roll.
That's a good roll. So you got so far
was due for
4, 6. You were definitely due for that.
You're due for it too, though.
So here we go. So these are my energy
Here you go.
defense rolls.
There you go.
So I got 1 block. That's it.
There you go.
I got 1 block.
That's okay.
Okay. So then, so we resolve any criticals. So you get to roll.
2, right?
Yeah. So roll 2 of those. All right. So
Failure
you have
and then wild.
So the wild gets added in there, and then I don't have any criticals. So you modify your own dice, which I can't. You modify yours, which you can't. We can't modify each other, so we calculate success or failure. So currently, you have. I'm taking 1 away for yours from the block, so you're dealing me 4 damage.
And then you
currently.
get your Friday or whatever that'll reduce it.
Yeah, so Invincible Iron Man will reduce it once more.
So 3 damage.
So 3 damage is what I'll be taking.
Yep.
All right, so during this attack sequence, we apply damage, which was 3 damage, so I put that on my card. And at the same time as you're applying damage, you also gain power equal to the damage that you take. So I'm taking 3 power. But because I took damage, there's a step that is step number 15, resolve effects after the attack. So if this attack deals 1 or more damage, after it is resolved, the target character gains a stun condition. What stun does is it's an effect that any time I were to gain power, I would only gain 1 power instead of however many. But because it actually took effect after I took the damage, it doesn't modify the amount of power that I would actually take. So I'm sitting out of 4 out of 5 health currently at this point in time, and Mike, you are sitting at 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
health.
if you get a good attack.
So that is your first attack.
Yes.
This activation. So we'll come back with your second one.
Actually,
All right, so your second action, Mike.
I don't have range.
Yeah, I don't have range. No, you're gonna have to do something else. Maybe your impact webbing. It's range 4.
I will do
Yeah. So your next action is going to be another attack.
Yes.
All right. What are you gonna do?
4 dice.
Yeah.
Impact webbing.
Targeting Iron Man, obviously. Pay the power cost, which is 0.
0.
You created your dice pool, which is 4, and my defense pool is 4.
4.
And then you roll the attack dice. Go ahead, sir. All right, so 2 hits. That's
Not
good.
too bad.
So let's see what happens to me.
50.
I got a crit.
I got a crit, so you re-roll one of those.
And that was a hit. So
Yeah,
so then roll resolve crits. So I'm just gonna roll this additional one. Nothing.
So you still.
Now, if I
you'll
roll
take
it,
0 damage, won't you?
I'll take 1 damage because it's minimum 1 damage.
Oh yeah, minimum 1, right?
So
yeah,
if this was a crit on the reroll,
Yeah.
you can't re-roll a crit from that. You can only roll in the initial power.
you can
Or in the
re-roll
initial
all your
roll.
crits, but if you get like 3 crits in a row, you can't re-roll those kind of.
Yeah, well, it's just whatever the initial crit
Yeah.
was. You can't re-roll.
Each die's initial crit. Yeah.
That's right. So, the only initial roll.
People.
So after modifying and everything else, Iron Man's going to be taking 1 more damage, and that puts him in daze at this point in time. So at the end of the round, he basically loses all his status effects, as well as damage, and he would be flipping over to the other side. Currently sitting at 7 power. 7 power, because this is going to allow me to do something fun next turn. Going into the next round, he's no longer dazed.
Yep,
he stands up, gets rid of the status effect and damage. Now he's mad. He's damaged because Mike dazed me. And
I punched your suit enough times.
That's right. Threw things at me. Hit me with shock webbing somehow.
Shock webbing. Actually, the shock webbing
what is it?
makes
Taser webs.
Taser webs is kind of cool because it's like you're in a suit, so it's a little beamy.
So I'm going to start off with Iron Man and his Friday AI, which it cost me
Extra
3.
or dice, I mean, yeah.
And then that leaves me with 4 power left. Okay. So next, I'm going to be doing a Unibeam. Okay, so I need Beam 5. That is 5. Yeah. So Unibeam. Boom. Basically, I'm going to be centering right over Spider-Man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So my next attack roll is going to be 8 dice. So can I use 3 dice for a second?
3? Yep.
Yeah. This is where I need more dice at this point in time. So how the beam works is basically everybody underneath is going to be taking a hit from the beam, and if it's a good, like an ally, they only take 1 damage.
Oh, okay.
But everybody else will be rolled against. So there's only one enemy character under here, so I don't need to make a bunch of rolls. It's just one, and it only affects models that are in line of sight. But the Unibeam ignores line of sight, and the defending character does not benefit from cover, so there's no cover here. So I have 8 dice. Let's see what happens to Spider-Man. All right. Well, at this point in time, this is some good rolling.
Yeah, it's a good roll.
All right, I'm just gonna quickly. We're not gonna go through the order of things because Mike needs an extra die. I think. Do you have 3 dice over there?
I only have
Okay,
I only
so
have 2, so
there's that. So Mike would roll his. So he has a crit. We both have crits, so I get to add 2 crits in there. So, oh my goodness, you have 3 successes, sir.
I did.
That's pretty good. All right, let's see what I get with my additionals. So I have another hit.
That's a hit. I was gonna say.
And then I have a failure. Yeah, he's gonna say nothing. There's you can re-roll that one. All right, so nothing. But you do have things that can modify your dice. So we just resolved criticals. So modify your own dice. Do you have?
I can modify 1. I mean, if I modify 2, there's no.
Yeah,
point,
that's right. That's right.
already...
That's right. So you might as well. All right, so that's
that doesn't count.
So that doesn't.
Crit,
that's
though.
right.
Yeah,
exactly. So you have 4 successes to my 6, which causes you 2 damage. So you gain 2 power, and then dazes you.
That's not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Trade. Like that was a good
That's
defense
right.
for what it was.
That's right. So now here's the thing, because I was the last one to activate, and I have priority, it now switches. That's the only time that priority and order changes, is whoever has priority, if they are the last one to activate a model in a round, the priority will switch over to the other thing. So it's not like I get a double turn all of a sudden.
Makes sense.
So now, beginning of the round, you're the one that would get to activate first.
Yep, makes sense. Makes sense.
So you're dazed, you keep all your power and everything. I'm just gonna sort of move a little bit closer to you for the sake of moving closer to you, and I'm out of power at this point in time until next round where we both gain 1. So, Mike, your activation first this round.
So we're gonna burn
both gain a power because power phase. Yeah.
2 of the 5 power I have to do taser webs. You're
Absolutely.
within 3.
Yeah.
Add Iron Man.
Yep.
It's 6 dice.
Absolutely.
It is a
Energy attack.
Yeah, it is an energy. Yeah.
So I created my defense pool for energy, which is 3 dice. Absolutely. Bam.
And
roll attack
does 1
dice.
damage to you. You will gain the stun.
Yep.
Special condition.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. That's a lot.
That was a lot.
That's 4 successes.
Yeah,
4 successes is pretty good. Let's see what I get here. I get nothing.
No,
I get nothing. Oh my goodness.
The taser webs are getting the better.
I get 4 power, which is going to put me up to 5, but I'll also be taking 4 damage as well.
3. Or does it count as a block?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I get. Yes, I do have. Yes, you're right. Invincible Iron Man is reduced damage by 1. Yep. So I get 3 power instead of 4, and 3 damage instead of 4 as well. I can't modify dice or anything like that, so we apply damage. And then after damage, I become stunned again, so I can now only gain 1 power.
Okay.
Maximum.
I'm going to burn my other 3.
Yep.
Just do Web of Bolt.
Web of Bolt. Here we go.
Actually, what are you I have 1 more action left. So
you do?
I could move. So
we'll see. So Mike, for his second action, is going to be moving Spider-Man his long range over towards the car or the lamppost. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna, he's gonna throw another vehicle at Iron Man. So before his activation ends, he's going to use his superpower of Web of Bolt, and then
it's within
range 3.
You're within.
Yeah. So you're throwing it short though. That's the only thing.
Oh wait,
yeah.
So maybe I can't do it.
Well, you can always move back.
Yeah, I know.
Not the full distance.
So if I can throw it from here,
right.
can I reach?
Can you reach?
Okay. So I can.
So technically,
I forgot it was small.
Technically, you can only ever have like 1 measuring gauge out at a time.
Oh, you can't. You have to kind of guess.
Well, yeah, sort of.
That's cool. I like that actually.
So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Didn't see that.
No. So you're going to use Web of Bolt then?
Web of Bolt,
which is in range 3.
Yep.
So we'll pick up the car.
Yep.
It's size 2. Gonna chuck it at Iron Man.
Yep.
He has 4 physical defense.
I don't even need to roll dice.
No, you don't.
I forgot about that.
No, you don't. Not at all. So let's see what I get. All right. So
that's nice.
That is a good roll.
That's
so I'm gonna be
roll
ignoring 2 of the damage so far. Let's see. Well, there's 3 of the damage. He ignores 3 of the damage and dodges that car completely. Nicely done. His go though now. He's gonna have some fun.
I didn't want to just strike.
Yeah, no.
He was like, nah, we gotta make this fun. See some action.
I'm gonna do a repulsor blast. Ooh. Repulsor blast. Yeah, repulsor blast. Here we go. So it's strength 4, range 4. You're definitely in range because it's 8 inches. Range 4. So, so you create your defense pool, which it's energy. So 3.
It's always 3.
Yeah. Your 3's across board. I'm gonna roll my attack dice. I got one. Yeah. I got 2 blocks, a failure, and 1 hit. So Mike rolls his defense.
1 block, but I get the spider sense. Can you modify first?
No, I don't have anything to modify.
So spider sense modify 2.
Yeah, so 3 successes compared to my 1, so it does nothing. All right, that's it. Unibeam time then. Unibeam. I'm going to use the last 4 power and do Unibeam. 6 dice. Can you pass me a couple of dice there, sir?
3 or...
2. Yep. So here we go. I don't have 8 dice this time. It is a beam 5.
Yeah, because you needed to use Friday.
I'm going to be like hitting like everything, the building and all that stuff. Yep. Let's see what happens.
That was nice.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Two, 3 hits so far. So you would roll your 3. Yep. Oh, that's good for you. So we resolve critical. So I'm just going to use one of these dice to resolve my 1 critical because I have 3 so far, and I get another hit. So that's 4. And you get nothing. So you.
Right, so then we.
Yeah. So then you modify your with spider sense.
Yep.
Because that was your crit reroll. So you have 2 dice. You can.
It would be 1 though, wouldn't it? Because if I rerolled that, would it not?
Well, you had 3 dice for your thing.
Oh yeah.
Was 1 a failure?
1 was like a blank or whatever.
Okay, so like
it wasn't. Yeah. It was a hit or a.
So blank. You rerolled that as a critical, and now you get to modify your dice.
Okay.
At this point,
I just didn't know if I got 2 dice or 1.
Yeah, no, 2 because you had 3 dice. You can, and it's nothing 2 blanks at this point in time. All right, so Spider-Man is gonna be taking 3 damage, gaining 3 power.
That's funny.
And that is that for the round.
That was really amusing to have.
Beginning of the round, we both gain a power during the power phase. And you have activation, Mike. This is going to be fun. What do you want to do, sir?
You probably already know what I'm going to do.
Oh, man. Taser webbing?
No, I'm gonna strike first.
You're going to strike first,
I
then
might
taser web
after.
Sounds good.
But you're within 2, I think.
I definitely within 2.
So I'll just strike at Iron Man. It's 5 dice. Physical attack.
Absolutely.
And I get power equal to the damage if I do anything.
That's right. So
and those were terrible rolls.
No, that was a terrible roll. Let's see what I got here. That's I got enough. I at least have 1.
You got 1.
I take no damage there. So we went through.
I'm just getting tired.
Yeah. So we're quickly going through all the steps now that we're becoming more natural with how they are. It's actually pretty normal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a natural progression of these steps and process. So it's pretty cool. Anyhow, so your second action. Let's see if I can stay alive till the end of this round. Mike, what are you doing next?
We're going to do a Web of Pulse.
Superpower, yeah.
Yep.
And it's a Web of Pulse, so it's active.
Within 3.
Yeah.
And we're going to toss a small. Yeah. So we're just going to toss it at the
Okay,
wall.
so what happens here is basically, so a car, you would measure from your base towards the target, but when you're throwing a person, you just throw directly from the target. Does it say?
I think you just get thrown.
Yeah. I'm just curious if it says like push away or anything like that, or towards. You know what I mean?
Throw small. Superpower can only use once. Size 2 or less, and within 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're just gonna throw him into the building?
Yeah. You just take.
He takes 1 damage. Yeah, that puts him up at 4. He's 1 away.
It's because it's guaranteed damage.
Yeah, it is guaranteed damage when you throw him. So, and because it's a taller building, it's not destroyed either. So
yeah,
it's a bigger size. So, and then your actual action now.
Okay, I think you're at a 2 now.
Oh no!
Yeah, I would say that's.
Nah, you're in because you nudged your guy.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah. I can do an attack. No
Either
way,
do your thing.
You know, it's 5 dice versus.
What attack are you doing?
I'll just do a strike.
All right, so choosing attack, strike, declare a target. Yeah, pay power cost nothing. All right, strike. Oh my goodness!
Apparently, I shouldn't be striking because that's the one that always wins.
Apparently, you shouldn't.
Because it's an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, I have 4 dice here. Let's see what happens. You have 2 successes.
You're gonna block these though, or you're done.
Oh
no!
Yeah, no, there's minimum 1. So he incapacitates Iron Man. Iron Man goes down on the bench for a nice little nap. Nappy nap, just like so.
Fine too, I think, if you got your activation.
Yeah, it would have been. That is funny. All right, guys. So that's a quick playthrough of the basic rules, and just like going back and forth with some little banter and just having fun with it. It's not a full game, but we'll come back and talk about that here in one momento. All right, guys, here we are with the after action report. If this is one of your first times watching the channel, basically after every little battle report and stuff that we put up, we always sit and we talk about the event or the day, the game. Well, that was the Fight Club, and you don't talk about Fight Club. But training wheel protocols initiated, engaged. Yes. Spider-Man versus Iron Man, just for the fun of it, just to try out the actual game with the actual models and stuff like that. Just one-on-one, throwing cars.
Yeah.
Shooting unibeams.
Through 2 cars, you did 2 unibeams.
Yeah. Lots of strikes. What is your thoughts about the models, Mike? First
They're good. I've already used Iron Man once before. If I've seen
with
the
a proxy,
video,
yeah.
I enjoyed Iron Man, and that unibeam is fun to use.
Yeah.
I was curious to see what Spider-Man would like. I mean, like from looking at his card, he looks like more of a supporty type utility character.
Yeah. I can.
But he actually can dish it quite a bit of damage more than
when
you
he
think,
starts throwing things every turn, and that's when we played, and I was using Ultron that time. I was missing that because I wasn't throwing stuff with Ultron, which I can throw like size 3 stuff. So
he's stronger, right?
Yeah, the Daily Bugle building that comes in the core box is size 3, so I can be like, boom. It's like, but I completely forgot about the superpowers when I was using Ultron. So
first game, right? So
and so like this was pretty fun. Like I enjoyed this, and like we did the climbing or the flying / wall crawler. Special rules for jumping up on the building.
That first turn to show like anyone who's wondering like what stuff looks like and how does it work and stuff. Then it gives them an idea.
I like the flow of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The activations goes back and forth from me to you.
I like that you're like really getting guaranteed stuff you can do for the first little while of the game. Like you.
So like the power you're talking about.
Yeah, like and like I like how they've set it up where you have 5 and then you go like it's not like you could activate Iron Man and say use all your stuff and kill Spider-Man. It's like, oh well, Spider-Man's just done. You don't get to use him in this game. You get like, okay, he's dazed. You get a chance to use him now, and then maybe he'll go down anyways. But at least you get to still activate.
Yeah, because once you're dazed, you can't be affected by anything.
Exactly.
And I think I forgot to mention that is when you are dazed, if there's other models that still need to activate and everything, Spider-Man can't be touched.
Yeah, they're almost like off the board.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They're out. They have more important threats to look at.
Yeah,
and
it's nice that I think it's if you're having a bad game or you're just
bad dice rolls like we had today.
Yeah, like you're just like not doing well or whatever. It gives you a chance to still use your guys, right?
Absolutely. So. The car throwing is super fun. So
that was fun.
So one of the big draws for like playing in these styles of games is the interactive terrain, in my opinion. Yeah. I love being able to like throw things and watch like your board change. Like it tells its own narrative.
Oh yeah.
It tells its own story. Especially like I don't know how big of items the Hulk can throw. But like, imagine him lifting like a smaller building up and like, here's a wall in the face. You know what I mean, or something like that.
Like you get a raid that comes out down the road, and like Thanos, where he can just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw the size 5 building at your face.
Oh my goodness, it's insane. Like like I said, it tells its own narrative. It's super fun. It's Marvel Comics models, so I love it personally. And we were already talking about this too, is like talking about narrative and everything, like with raids or even doing like a storyline, like a campaign. I think that might be coming eventually. I'm not 100% sure. If not, I hope it does. But like doing a campaign, and I was like, oh, we could do like Civil War stuff, and like play through like the movies, like Civil War, Infinity Wars, and then like into end games and stuff like that. So I think that was super fun. Iron Man's a beast, takes lots of damage. Overall, I think he can deal lots of damage once he's injured. He's your standard character, I think. If you had to sort of like put anybody, like he's a standard sort of like attack sort of beat stick.
Oh yeah. Like if you're taking someone like from the Avengers, I think him or Captain America are like almost like a must-have.
Yeah, well, Captain America is more like your defender sort of like type guy, where I think he's more like a striker almost. You know what I mean? Like with shooting with his unibeam and everything else. Where Spider-Man, like you said, is that
he's kind
role,
of like a mix,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where Spider-Man is that role of like sort of pulling people and setting things up and stuff like that later on. Now again, we aren't playing into objectives. We're just basic, training wheel protocol stuff. Just basic, getting a game in to throw some dice and try these models out.
Yeah.
Overall, if you had to rate this game on a 1 to 5, and you can do, halves.
6.
6. Okay. I would definitely. For me, I'm sitting.
I'd give it probably like a 4.
I'm sitting at myself probably like a 4.5.
Yeah,
is what I'm
I
saying.
I always leave room for improvement.
That's
for
right.
pretty much
That's
any
right.
game. That's why I say 4 out of
But
5.
it's super fun, and like it's only going to get better when you start putting, or it's going to change, mind
Yeah.
you, the play style, because neither one of us has played yet a full actual game of this. So it's going to change the play style when you start putting in the crisis cards as well as the team tactics cards and that. So that will be like when you do all of a sudden Ricochet shot with Iron Man and Captain America,
That'd be cool.
or something along those lines. I think that
Yeah.
would be super cool. So Mike, well, thank you very much, dude. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching. What was his money? What you want me to
like
pay
this.
you? Oh. Guys, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, ignite your hobby.
It's not a bad idea though, money.
Money, yeah.